But we are so pleased today to be able to continue our conversation with retired Air Force General Michael Hayden. Of course, Michael served as director of the CIA and the NSA during his time in government service, currently now in private life as a principal with the Chertoff Group. But Michael, your mission remains the same, assessing security, and inevitably, when we take a look at the different details coming in, admittedly they may change as events warrant, but initial reports had the gunman who assaulted the office with assault rifles and a rocket launcher. Now, what does that tell us? These guys are professional terror guys, hired killers?
Well, they certainly look as if they've been well trained, and the presence of automatic weapons, of the rocket launcher, I'm sure it's an RPG-7, suggests that there's a bit of a supply line from North Africa into metropolitan France, which should make the French services very, very nervous. And JD, this brings back into question. You and I have been talking together in the mornings like this for about 9 months now, and I'm trying to push back on the question of intelligence overreach with regard to citizens' privacy. Remember all those discussions coming out of the Snowden revelations?
You bet.
And now, when something like this happens, you see why we do have intelligence activities trying to find out these things in advance. Respectful of privacy, but there are some things you've got to do if you're going to defend a modern, open, industrial society.
And mindful of that, Mike, a Baltimore TV station's website and Twitter account were apparently hacked by an ISIS supporter. That apparently was a group calling itself Cyber Caliphate. Now, do you know anything about that? Any ideas on who might be behind this new group here in the United States?
No, I don't. What we've seen jihadist groups edging in the direction of this. We've seen a Syrian electronic army. We've got a similar group, clearly sponsored by the Iranian government, going out and creating harm. But one thing we haven't yet seen, JD, and I can't explain it, is to use a cyber weapon to create mass disruption or mass casualties, physical destruction. Jihadists are not cyber stupid, as your last story certainly indicates, but they haven't quite yet used it for those physically damaging attacks. It may just be a matter of time.
And we should point out our audience was just looking at the screen grab of the report of the story of this penetration of a television website and Twitter account. They are not cyber stupid. They are somewhat cyber sophisticated, but these groups should not be called supermen. They have their limitations, obviously. And this brings us full circle back to the broader question that you offered just a second ago. Striking that balance between personal liberties and collective security. Yes, we have been talking about it, but with these developments, do you have an appeal for the American people to reassess what that balance should be?
Look, I do, and to use a quote I often use in my public speeches, JD, we all went to the same high school, so to speak. We all share American values, and we all, because of our heritage and history, fear government overreach. But we wrote our Constitution because the government in front of it, the one under the Articles of Confederation, wasn't too powerful, it was too weak. And we needed to strengthen the government in order to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. So government has a positive role to play here. And I think we've just gone through a period where the popular instinct was government bad. JD, there's a real interesting convergence going on here. And I think it's important to point out, in addition to this physical terrorist attack against a French satirical newspaper, you have undoubtedly a North Korean cyber attack against Sony Corporation North America. In both instances, you have renegade groups going after free speech. And so even privacy advocates now need to be sensitive that governments that lack power to defend us end up costing us our liberties in addition to our securities.
You have set forth an interesting dynamic that free speech is under attack by cyber terrorists. Michael Hayden, we thank you for your insights, and America's Forum continues.